NJ, your host on this channel. So guys, in this video we will have our discussion on the most important divisional chart which gives information regarding your career, regarding the highest of the fame, recognition, and what kind of legacy you will leave, how many people will acknowledge your contribution. So that is the D10 chart or the Dasansa chart. So guys, in my channel we have talked a lot many times about different divisional chart. I have also talked about Saturn's placement in the D10 chart, but in this video we will try to understand Rahu's contribution in the D10 chart, because when it comes down to Rahu has got its own notion, its own way of giving us success. And in today's modern age, where social media, technology, the hype, your net worth, all of that plays a very important role. So we cannot undermine or overlook the importance of Rahu. So okay guys, to start with, very first thing which you people have to understand is that in which all conditions Rahu becomes important in your life, or Rahu is going to have a very strong say in your career. Because we might have a planet very strengthened, but it is majorly influencing our domestic life, our matrimonial life. So there is a way of assessing that in which capacity a planet becomes the most important, and this planet holds a major say regarding a specific area of your life. For this discussion, this is about career. So if in any capacity you will find that someone who has got a moon nakshatra of Rahu, like if your moon nakshatra is of Adra, Swati or Sadbisha, then definitely Rahu is going to have a strong say in your professional undertakings. If your Rahu is going to be placed in the first house, it is going to be placed in the second house, in the sixth house, or in the 10th house, it is going to have a very strong say in the matters of your career. First house, which tells about your personality. Second house, which tells about your finances, your earning, your saving. Sixth house, which tells about your work ethics, and 10th house is the actual house of career. So guys, do not get confused. Right now we are still on the D1 chart. After that, if you will find that Rahu is going to be conjunct in the houses which I just mentioned in the D1 chart, which is the first house, second house, sixth house, 10th house, and over there Rahu is conjunct with the exalted planet, or if Rahu is conjunct with the luminaries, like Rahu in your natal chart is anywhere, but it is conjunct with Sun or it is conjunct with Moon, then also Rahu is going to have a strong say in the matters of your career. And lastly, if you will find Rahu to be conjunct with your ascendant lord or with your 10th lord, then we can say that in these kind of eligibilities and the scenarios, Rahu is going to have a strong say in the matters of your career. Now let's open up the D10 chart. So on my channel, I have talked many times about the divisional charts, about the D10 chart. So D10 chart is a chart which gives a very precise information regarding what exactly is going on in the matters of your professional life. What exactly and what are the kind of contribution through your actions you will give to the world, your legacy we see from the 10th house. So guys, so when you open up the D10 chart, all houses of the D10 chart gives precise information regarding your career. Like the way, for example, if in our ascendant chart, 5th house is the house of our children. So in the D10 chart, 5th house will tell about the kind of people you will train. If like in our ascendant chart, 7th house is the house of our spouse. So in the D10 chart, 7th house will tell about the partnership, about our professional business partner. So you would have understood so far that in the D10 chart, every aspect, every element of the D10 chart only give information regarding your career. So guys, the general way of studying the D10 chart is that, like as per the Gemini Karka, the planet which is going to have the second highest degree in your out of all the 9 planets, that planet becomes the Amatya Karka. You have to see that placement of the Amatya Karka in the D10 chart. Then you have to see individually the placement of Saturn in the D10 chart, and you have to see the planet which is going to be the 10th lord from the main ascendant chart. You have to see it in the D10 chart in which dignity it is placed. But so far and in this video, because we will be only focusing on the Rahu's contribution, Rahu's placement. So now we will shift our discussion to Rahu, and we will try to understand what all information Rahu will give you pertaining to the matters of your career specific to your D10 chart. So guys, the very first thing which Rahu will tell about in the D10 chart, that in which specific domain or area of your professional life you have this capacity to break the regular norm. Do something which is going to be very taboo breaking, which is going to be very unusual, which the world and the people or the industry where you are operating, in that industry specific, no one has done that before. Second thing, Rahu will tell about in your professional life that which area of your professional life is going to be very much open towards controversies, towards scandals and some sort of allegation. Third thing, Rahu's placement in your D10 chart will tell about that which specific area of your life you have this capacity to stay mysterious, to create a hype around you, and we can say this thing that some sort of very sudden, rapid growth and the fame potential. Wheresoever Rahu is going to be placed in your D10 chart, in the matters of your career, this is going to be the house where you can experience that magnitude of the fame. And lastly guys, like the way I always say this thing, that whatsoever planet you are studying in the D10 chart, even specific to that planet, you have to see that this planet from the main ascendant chart, which dignity it is now placed over here. Like for example, we can take up the reference chart of the Marilyn Monroe. So in her case, like if you can see in your screen, so she has got the Cancer Lagna in the main ascendant chart. Her ascendant lord being the planet Moon, it is placed in the 7th house and it is placed in the Dhanishta Nakshatra. So that in itself tells about that somehow she started her very first Mahadasha of the planet Mars, which is placed in the 8th house. It was not for that long time, and immediate after that, the prime of a very young age, when children want to understand the matters of passion, sexuality, attraction and all, she was in the Rahu Mahadasha, Rahu being placed in her 12th house. But Rahu in the Gemini is considered as very strong. So she knew this thing, that when it comes down to, there are like those cases where people get into the pervert or the kind of very assault creating side of the passion, of the sexuality. But she knew how to use it in order to be famous, be recognized, create curiosity, create hype. So that is what the intelligence of Rahu teaches us. Now from over here, if you will take it to her D10 chart, over there Rahu is placed in the 6th house and it is placed in the Aquarius. So being seen as a symbol by many, can be seen with this kind of placement of Rahu in your 6th house. So okay guys, now enough of the example of the celebrity lives and their charts. Now we will try to understand individually basis in our life Rahu's placement in the different houses of the D10 chart, what exactly it will tell about. So the very first thing is that if you will find Rahu to be placed in the very first house of your D10 chart. So guys, the first house of the D10 chart becomes very important because it somehow carries the theme of that whole divisional chart, the encapsulated summary of that whole chart. So if D10 chart is about the career, so the very first house of the D10 chart, which sign is over there, and this sign in the first house of the D10 chart, where this sign, the ascendant sign of the D10 chart, falls in your main ascendant chart. So this will tell about your professional undertakings. So if you will find Rahu to be placed over here, so again guys, all the points which I have mentioned so far, this could be about fame, this could be about recognition, this could be around creating that mystery, that hype, doing something which is very unusual, experiencing that rapid growth in your life, doing something unusual, tech driven, which the world has not seen before in your industry, relevant to your industry, could be attached with Rahu's placement in the first house of the D10 chart. Now let's say for example, if your Rahu is going to be placed in the second house of your D10 chart. So guys, we know this thing that second house in the D10 chart is about how much you'll be able to save when it comes down to your professional undertakings, the money which you will make, the capital you are going to have, the asset you are going to have. So all of that we generally see from the second house of the D10 chart. Like the way guys, even because second house somehow is in straight axis with the 8th house as well. Like the way we talk about like that a great spiritual philosopher, spiritual being Osho. Now he is not in his body, but even after that, all the books written by him, it is still generating money and the wealth and that sort of legacy. So I mean to say, second house in a way becomes very important. And now if you're going to have Rahu in the second house of the D10 chart, so guys, it is very good for making money from some unusual tech driven industries. Along with that, the way I mentioned this thing, that there is a whole lot of possibility that you will create a legacy that even after when you are gone, the circulation of money can continue. That is the kind of potential which we can attach with Rahu's placement in the second house. And in lot many cases, people who are going to have income or money coming in from those kind of things which are seen with doubt in the society, like you might be in the tobacco business, you might be in the alcohol business, you might be in the money lending business. So all of that can be attached with Rahu's placement in the second house of the D10 chart. In lot many ways, like people who generally acquire any of the family business, but it is surrounded by the own share of ordeal, dispute, court case, litigation within the family and all, while going through the distribution of the allotment of the shares and all. That can be seen with Rahu's placement in the second house of your D10 chart. Now guys, moving ahead. Now if you will find Rahu to be placed in the third house of your D10 chart, so guys, it is considered as very good because third house is the house which motivates us for the growth. In all those cases where people have been very restless for the growth, like for many of us, we feel that okay, if I can in my lifetime I can build one office, I can build one branch, I can do certain things, then I will be contented. But those people in whose case you will find malefic planets, like planet like Rahu, which has got that insatiable appetite, which is not very easy to be contented. So if you will find third house to be very prominent, very potent, these are among those people who will not get satisfied, and this kind of dissatisfaction of theirs in a way drives them towards growth, towards expansion, towards scaling up. So what I'm trying to say is that if in the D10 chart you're going to have Rahu in the third house, then you will find, you can also find, I'm not saying that you will surely find, but you might find those people like who knows how to kind of glamorize their talent, how to glamorize their skill set. A lot many times I give example that Salt Bay, like making steak and everything is a lot many other people are also doing, but he added that signature style like this. Oh my god, it looks so weird when I do this. But even in India, there's this tea chai wala guy, if I'm not able to remember his name. So he also has his own signature style. So these are among those people who are able to have that sort of uniqueness. Like the way even I remember when I was in Delhi, like we go to those specific places, you know, that guy over there in that restaurant, the lentils is very famous. They have got that signature thing over there which you cannot find anywhere else. So Rahu's placement in the third house of the D10 chart is very conducive for making a brand of yourself. It is very good for fame, for scaling up, for expansion. So if I were to say, out of all the houses, Rahu's placement in the third house of the D10 chart is considered as very good. Now guys, let's move forward. Now if you're going to have Rahu being placed in the fourth house of your D10 chart, so guys, we all know this thing that fourth house, which generally tells about like it becomes very important in the modern day and age where lot many people are working from home. So, and somehow this is also the house which a lot many times is seen for people who are doing anything in the public domain. So if you're going to have a very potent, a very strong Rahu in the fourth house of the D10 chart, it can give you success in the public domain. It has got this capacity to always keep you restless or motivate you, drive you towards doing something big or good in the life, becoming a successful realtor, creating a legacy. So regarding that front, Rahu's placement in the fourth house of the D10 chart can be seen as good because somehow Rahu represents fame, and this is the house over where somehow there's going to have a strong say over the collective and all. So people who know about how to take advantage of any ongoing trends, how to somehow design their campaign to have a mass reach and something. So Rahu's placement in the fourth house of the D10 chart can be seen as good. A lot many times it has been seen that people who have got Rahu being placed in the fourth house in their professional journey, like they do much better when they go away from, like when they deal in the international markets or they deal in the markets which are away from their birthplace, they tend to do much better. Now if you're going to have Rahu being placed in the fifth house of your D10 chart, so guys, fifth house, which is the house of our followers, fifth house is also the house of our capacity to give advice, to counsel others. So Rahu's placement in the fifth house of the D10 chart can be seen as good. That, like the way guys I mentioned this thing, see, when we talk about all these kind of like laptops and books and grocery and all, so the way their prices get decided, it is all in the hands of the government and the policy maker, economist and all. But when we talk about all these kind of so-called celebrity culture, like whether you talk about an astrologer, it's all about creating a hype around your services, creating a hype around your personality, around your magnetism and all. Just because I got lucky to be featured in this very prominent talk show, I remained lucky in featuring in this very successful, very famous magazine, and immediate after that I increased my prices. It can happen anytime. My dashas, very favorable dashas are coming, so if you want to book your reading, prices are affordable. Do that now. I'm just joking. I mean to say, so these people know, who have Rahu being placed in the fifth house of the D10 chart, how to kind of capitalize on their fame, how to capitalize on the kind of talent they have. So like the way guys, Rahu being in the third house of your D10 chart make you talented. Rahu being in the fifth house of your D10 chart make you intelligent enough to capitalize on your talent. So this is how we can see. And like the way guys, I have mentioned this thing that people who have got Rahu in the fifth house of the D10 chart, in their professional life, these are the guys who are all the time revamping. They are all the time thinking about new ways of branding themselves, packaging themselves, marketing themselves, how to promote themselves. Let's think of some new strategy. Let's think of some new media campaign, how to create a hype, how to create a curiosity. So this is how you will find it. Again guys, whatever I say in my videos, do not take it like only the prediction part. Your chart is something, the way God has given you a roadmap. Only if you will follow this roadmap, there is going to be success. So rather than like trying to force your will in some other direction, only if you know how to live as per the alignments you have got, you will find success, you will find contentment and happiness. Let's move forward. If you're going to have your Rahu being placed in the sixth house of your D10 chart, so guys, it's a very good placement in this way that through this placement, Rahu can make you a little bit controversial, but it makes you very smart enough to make your moves at the right time. This is one such example I gave recently. Now imagine Elon Musk sided towards like the guy who was supposed to win the presidential election, and the level on which Elon Musk is, how big of a risk it could have been. Imagine if Kamala Harris would have won, how much she would have, got back at him. And Bill Gates sided towards Kamala Harris. So I mean to say, in any competitive situation, how you design or plan your strategy to be a step ahead than your competitors and all, and also for the service professionals and all, people who are in any big leadership role. Rahu being in the sixth house makes you intelligent or smart enough to sail ahead any competition, foresee any trend and make your moves very strategically. So overall, if I were to say, Rahu's placement in the sixth house of the D10 chart is very conducive for people who last in any business, who know how to revamp themselves as per the changing times and for staying ahead of the competition. Now guys, if you will find Rahu to be placed in the seventh house of your D10 chart, so guys, this is kind of a sensitive alignment in this way because seventh house has something to do with the kind of control and influence others have on us. Now with this kind of placement, it obviously places Ketu in the first house of your D10 chart. So this could be a sign where people initially in their career, they go through a lot of this could be uncertainty, shuffling in different sectors, changing different industries before landing at your calling. This could be looked at in this way. With this kind of placement, generally people get success because of the approval of their partner, support of the partner. So in any public domain, it somehow gives you strong dependability on others. So those who have got Rahu being placed in the 7th house of the D10 chart, they have to be very smart and intelligent enough not to manipulate, because guys, see, at the end of the day, it's the planet Saturn only who's observing all of our karma, all of our intent, with which intent we are doing any single task in the life. All of that is being saved and stored in the Akashic record. So what happens is that, let's say for example, your business is about, like, it has just started pacing up, and now you are just manipulating on your promises, you are not being fair in your dealing with the public dealing and all. Rahu is smart enough, but there is always a repercussion for all of our action. So generally what happens is that if you have manipulated, you have turned back on your promises and all, so like the way we come across all those kind of cases where even the big businesses come to a complete break even and the businesses fail. Like this could be a case of there used to be the case studies of Nokia mobile and Fuji cameras, and also lot many businesses. In certain cases, people were not able to revamp. In certain cases, people did not stand up to their promises which they gave to the public and all. So in many ways, if you have Rahu being placed in the 7th house, the only one thing which I can say over here is that it is good in the public domain, but only if native is following proper ethics, integrity, honesty, and lot is dependent on the condition of the 7th lord, like what kind of people as a partner, as a support system you will get in your professional life. Now guys, when we talk about Rahu being placed in the 8th house of the D10 chart, now guys, I will be very honest with you, I do not want to sugarcoat it. So 8th house Rahu in the D10 chart becomes a little bit sensitive. Like this could be a case that it could make you very controversial, like your career is going to be filled with lot of scandals, lot of controversy, which is a common norm, like in cases of people who become politicians, people who are like always in the public's attention, scrutiny and all. You could be a successful sportsman, you could be a successful like politician and all of that. But yes, if you have got Rahu being in the 8th house of your D10 chart, so your career will always be surrounded by the controversies and by the scandals. Second thing is that like the way guys, the bad and the flaw side of this placement is that generally natives career go through many severe fluctuation, like the way we say that sudden fall from the top could also happen because of this placement, and in certain cases that you became responsible for big fall or being seen as a question mark in that industry. And again guys, here I'm not talking about your intention, here I'm just talking about the whole encapsulated map of your karma. So just like that, universe and destiny has that thing in store. You were not intending to do it. It's just like that your actions knowingly or unknowingly became responsible for creating that havoc, creating that problem. Like the way, for example, this ongoing Russia-Ukraine thing going on. For certain people, Zelensky is like a hero, and certain section of people, they are seeing him as the main person who somehow instigated this whole war. Just because he did not compromise, so many people died and all. So there's always a two-way and two side of looking at it. So that's what I'm trying to say. If you have got Rahu being placed in the 8th house of your D10 chart, your actions are going to have a lot of consequences, will be surrounded with controversies, scandals. There's a slight possibility of something like the way we say that creating a legacy, like even after when you will be gone, you will be remembered. Now for good reasons or for bad reasons, it is all open to different interpretation and the planetary alignment. But yes, lot many scientists and all have been seen with 8th house Rahu. And again guys, if you will take up the case of, if you have seen that Oppenheimer movie, if I'm pronouncing that name correct, even after the like discovery and after his that invention, you asked him, he was not that happy because somehow accidentally I invented a thing which is capable of mass destruction. So this is sort of enigma you can attach with Rahu being in the 8th house. So it's like a double-edged sword. How it will be used, it will be a lot dependent on that. And yes guys, when we talk about joint resources, capitalizing on other people's money, your business is somehow completely funded by other people's donation and all, so all of that can be materialized. See, strong 8th house people need to know and need to learn how to encash on other people's money, like encourage people to financially support you for your vision, for your dream, because 8th house in itself, this is what in the essence 8th house means other people's money. Okay, now coming to your 9th house. Now guys, if you have Rahu being placed in the 9th house of your D10 chart, we all know this thing that 9th house is the house of our professional mentors, all those people who will play a very integral role in shaping up your career because of their advice, because of their guidance. Along with that guys, we say this thing that 9th house is the kind of luck which you will find in your professional journey. Like the way I gave the example of the politicians and all, the business people and all, which political party to support, and they're like those countries, like if I'm not wrong, they're like those countries who have got in the geopolitics, international geopolitics, who have this stance that okay, you could be either towards us or you could be neutral, but they are like those countries who have a clear stance, either you are our friend or you are our enemy. So I mean to say, if you have got Rahu being placed in the 9th house, it is considered as good in the modern day context, that Rahu is like a manipulator, is like a chameleon who knows how to shape up different guys in order to encash on that opportunity. And this could be a case that when we talk about serendipity or something, accidental discovery of good fortune, accidental discovery of something which gave you a leverage in your professional life and all. Like the way guys, a lot many businesses only grew at the time of the lockdown during the COVID. So I mean to say, Rahu being placed in the 9th house of your D10 chart in certain ways and alignments, this has got the potential and capacity to create a hype, give you success, and being supported at the most and the least unexpected times in your professional journey. Now guys, if you have Rahu being placed in the 10th house of your D10 chart, so I only have good things to say. 10th house is the actual, like this is the Karaka house, significator house of the D10 chart. Rahu is considered as very good over here. So one thing I can assure you of, that in your professional journey, there is going to be strong flavors of Rahu. If in the D10 chart, your Rahu is placed in the 1st house or in the 10th house, so that means you cannot overlook the qualities of the Rahu. You need to inculcate the qualities of Rahu in your professional endeavors, like your branding, your brand connect, how strongly and quickly you are revolutionizing yourself, revamping yourself with the changing taste of the people. Along with that, like travels and like creating that hype, doing proper promotion, marketing of your brand, being very researchful. So this is how we can say and we can see that Rahu's placement in the 10th house of the D10 chart is a good placement for giving you fame, giving you many platforms, giving you many opportunities. Regarding that front, it is a good placement, and lot many work related travels as well. Like this is equally applicable if Rahu is going to be placed in the 9th house or the 10th house of your D10 chart. Now guys, if you have Rahu being placed in the 11th house of your D10 chart, so we know this thing that 11th house is the house of our gains, it is the house of our networking. So Rahu's placement in the D10 chart in the 11th house is a very good sign for many, or I would say multiple opportunities in your professional life. Second thing is that it also gives you access to many elite groups, to many elite like membership and all. So like suddenly standing a chance for meeting someone who's very prominent, someone who's very important, and that person connected to you with some important people, with some important opportunities and all. So Rahu's placement in the 11th house of the D10 chart, I have generally seen people who are smart enough, even like how to create a hype around their services, around their product, or how to have that big network, or how to capitalize only on the word of mouth or goodwill. So these are among those people. I still remember, like, in one of the person in the occult industry only, I guess he's a Vastu expert, and I once heard him saying that, okay, in my initial few years of career, I've already built that much of my client base that now we are only relying on the word of mouth or the references which we are getting in circulation. We are not much concerned about tapping into the new market. So that's what I'm saying. So if you're going to have Rahu being placed in the 11th house, it can give you strong connections in your professional life. Now guys, and lastly, if you have got Rahu being placed in the 12th house of your D10 chart, so guys, this is a good combination in this way that your success will come, or Rahu will work in a very mysterious way. Like, you will surprise with your professional outcomes, with your professional accomplishment, when people would be least expecting from you. And this is what I guess in majority of the motivational quotes and majority of the motivational speakers say, that you should be working hard, sweating in isolation, so that your success will make the noise. And in lot many cases it has been seen that people who have Rahu being in the 12th house of the D10 chart, they find success in the foreign land, they find success because of the support of the foreign national. But again guys, the way I've been saying this thing, all those people whose career is filled with a lot of kind of stigma, scandals, controversies, Rahu's placement in the 12th house of the D10 chart, that in itself means that your actions might be responsible for bringing some chaos or havoc as well. So all that potential is going to be there, like doing something which is very dark, and you being responsible for that, you being held accountable for that. So that potential can also be attached with Rahu's placement in the 12th house. So guys, at the end, all what I can say is that, see, these kind of videos are not going to be suffice anytime, because I do not know which planet is your 10th lord, which planet is your ascendant lord. Through these videos, I only try to give you guys a perspective. And like the way I'm saying this thing repeatedly in majority of my videos, more than what we learn from the video, we learn more from the comment section in these kind of genre, where people share their own chart, share their own practical findings. So if you watch a video, never hesitate to write it, and I never get offended even if I'm being proved wrong. So please write it in the comment section that if you have Rahu being placed in the 4th house of your D10 chart, has the results been like what I am giving you a hint in this video? And first of all, you do not have to say it like this. The whole discussion went on this way, that initially how important Rahu is to have a say in your professional life, that you get to know from Rahu's placement in the ascendant chart. Only if Rahu has got that important say to affect your career, then you have to see its placement in the D10 chart, observe its results, and then write it in the comment section. And yes guys, you have to be of that age when you're already working from past so many long years. So let's say, for example, if you're already right now watching this video and your professional life has not started, you're still like 21, 22-year-old, or you are 28-year-old, but you have been out of job market for a long time, then you might not be able to find resonance. See, the thing is, astrology works in this way, and planets like Rahu has got this capacity. Rahu is like a trigger. Only if you're already running, Rahu can amplify your speed. But if you are sitting at home, you are even sitting on the ground, then what can Rahu do? Rahu cannot just do magic and make you fly in the air. It can create that impression that you are flying in the high, but you might be high for that. But in short, those people who are already like 35, 45, 55, 65, Rahu's placed in your 12th house, 5th house, 8th house, in whichever house in the D10 chart, share how it has impacted your professional journey. So yes guys, this is something which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs. For further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account. Dhanyavad.